Joe Biden lied about getting endorsed by the Boilermakers Union. They actually endorsed Donald Trump. Let me repeat that. The Boilermakers Union endorsed Donald Trump, one of the largest chapter, not the full union. And Biden said in his town hall they endorsed him. The union is furious. Apparently, a bunch of union members started calling up their union leaders, being like, "What are you talking about? We endorsed Biden. What?" And they were like, "No, we didn't. We don't know what Biden's talking about." Biden lied. Why would any union endorse Joe Biden? He's backed by Wall Street. He is the candidate of the millionaires and the billionaires, including millionaire Bernie Sanders. I'm not going to vote for the millionaires and the billionaires. I'm going to vote for a literal billionaire, though. Donald Trump is being backed by small donors. He himself is a billionaire who's losing money on his campaign. And ultimately, I don't really think that matters all that much. They say Trump's losing money. And I'm like, look, are his ideas good? Well, apparently Trump's ideas are good enough for union workers in Pennsylvania. Check this story out. Pro-Trump union blasts Biden for lying about endorsement. They say from the Free Beacon. A top official at one of Pennsylvania's most powerful labor groups slammed Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden for falsely boasting of the union's endorsement. Sean Steffi, a trustee with Boilermakers Local 154, said that his members were shocked to hear the Democratic nominee claim their support on national television, while Biden claimed to have sat down with union leaders to have an in-depth discussion about his plans. Steffi said the Biden campaign never approached his membership. Biden's criticism to fracking led Local 154, the largest local chapter of Boilermakers in the country, to endorse President Trump. We had a moment of disbelief when our members started blowing our phone up because they said we flip-flopped on our endorsement, Steffi told the Washington Free Beacon. Nobody from his staff, nobody has ever spoken with us. So I don't know where he's coming up with that. Not only did Biden lie about their endorsement, he claimed they sat down with union leaders. Straight up lie, Biden. Nah. When ABC town hall moderator George Stephanopoulos brought up that some Boilermaker union members do not trust Biden's claim that he supports the fracking industry, the Democrat responded that the Boilermaker union overwhelmingly endorsed me. The union's national headquarters has not endorsed any candidates in the 2020 race, while Local 154 endorsed Trump in September. Biden has consistently equivocated on the issue of fracking. When asked whether fracking and other fossil fuel industries will have a place in the Biden administration, the former vice president has said he would make sure it's eliminated and oppose subsidies for the industry. The nominee has since adjusted his position to only oppose new fracking licenses on federal land. Kamala Harris, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, also said, "There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking," before she joined Biden's ticket. The Biden campaign did not respond to a request for comment. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Biden or Harris want to ban fracking. I don't. I think they were lying about banning fracking to get the progressive vote in the primary. And I think they're both a crony corporate, say whatever they got to say to make money. Nobody's going to walk away from all that sweet fracking green. Now, that's money right there. They're not going to ban it. Though I'll tell you what, a good reason not to vote for them is that they're liars. Steffi said that Biden's equivocation on fracking pushed the union, which represents the Pittsburgh area, to support Trump. I can only imagine that's going to mean Sean Parnell wins the congressional seat. Biden said, "I will do away with fracking then. It was just fracking on federal land. So I don't know what his story is," he said, "but I do know President Donald Trump has embraced our energy independence and wants to grow the infrastructure on energy, and the Boilermakers absolutely want to be a part of it." Fracking has emerged to be a key campaign issue in the battleground states that rely on the shale industry. Michigan and Ohio together have more than 400,000 workers in the shale industry, while Pennsylvania alone has 320,000 workers. Trump has leaned into his consistent support for the fracking and natural gas industry during the campaign season, repeatedly saying that Biden wants to ban fracking. The national headquarters of the Boilermakers Union did not respond to a request for comment. Now, you see stories like this where Joe Biden's full of it. We get these guys coming out and straight up saying we did not endorse him. And what would happen were it not for independent media? Do you think CNN is going to cover this? No. Brian Stelter recently said that Donald Trump is dominating the airwaves. He tweeted this just recently. And he said it reminds him of the old saying that a plane crash gets the ratings or whatever, something like that. And he said, but no one ever talks about the planes that land safely. That's a really good point. When something bad happens to Joe Biden, nobody cares. When something bad happens to Trump, they run full speed. Now, as we enter this wave of censorship, this is when you start to realize why it's important we have an alternative media space, which is why I always say, subscribe to this channel, share these videos, do whatever you can. This channel is blacklisted. No joke. This channel you're watching right now, blacklisted on Google. You cannot Google search it. You can't. You'll find other channels. You'll find playlists. You won't find this. That's why it's important. Because let me show you something. Twitter removes misleading tweet from top Trump COVID advisor, Dr. Scott Atlas, that said masks don't work. Dr. Scott Atlas is a government official giving advice on COVID. And I think he actually got banned on Twitter. So it's not this one, but they removed the tweet from him and actually suspended his account. So people were actually quite shocked to see a government official getting... Let me read you the story. Twitter has removed a misleading tweet from Dr. Scott Atlas. Doctor. A government doctor told us what we should or shouldn't do, and Twitter removed it. They're going to get you killed. That's the world where social media manipulates. Now, I want you to show that story to people who support Biden. Why do you lie about being supported by the unions? More importantly, it's an issue of, can we get the truth? And if we didn't have independent media, probably not. It would be restricted. And when you have this is Twitter, look, this to me is crazy. Atlas, who has been on the coronavirus task force since the pandemic began in the U.S., then used examples of areas where he said cases exploded even with mandates. Atlas included the following locations in the tweet: LA, Miami, Hawaii, Alabama, France, Philippines, UK, Spain, Israel. Masks and facial coverings are used to prevent people who have the virus from infecting others. I don't know what to say. I'll tell you right now. What do I say? If I ignore the government advisor on COVID on the task force, will I get banned? If I post what he says, will I get banned? I honestly have no idea. So I can't give you any real advice on this anymore. The media is fundamentally broken. The censorship has become a very, very serious problem. And if channels like mine and others are removed, you won't get to learn about the lies coming from the establishment. So what do we do, man? I don't know. I don't want to do a whole thing. I wasn't starting this up so we could do a whole thing on, COVID or anything like that. I just think the censorship is actually terrifying, considering I just had to call out a Biden lie. They say Twitter subsequently removed the tweet, but Atlas followed up with a response saying, that means the right policy is real Donald Trump guideline. Use masks for their intended purpose when close to others, especially high risk. Otherwise, social distance. A Twitter spokesperson told CNN that the tweet was removed because it violated the company's COVID-19 misleading information policy. Twitter said that Atlas violated the policy that prohibits users from sharing false or misleading content related to the pandemic that could lead to harm. In recent weeks, several states have shown an increase of COVID-19 infections. If the government, the president, can't give the country accurate advice because it will be censored, I think we know who's actually in charge of this country, huh? Twitter is rigging the game. Twitter is manipulating people, and they're lying, and they're helping Joe Biden. It's really, really that simple, man. Atlas noted a document from the World Health Organization that reads, quote, the widespread use of masks by healthy people in the community setting is not yet supported by high quality or direct scientific evidence, and there are potential benefits and harms to consider. The World Health Organization said that. So White House advisor said it. Twitter took him down. The only explanation is that Twitter and Facebook are doing everything in their power to help Joe Biden win. His remarks come after a month after NBC News reportedly overheard CDC Director Robert Redfield suggesting in a conversation with a colleague that Atlas is arming Trump with misleading data about masks and other issues. Everything he says is false, Redfield said during a phone call made in public on a commercial airline. According to NBC, please, they're leaking Trump's private information. Atlas, a neurologist, is not an expert on infectious disease. I don't care. They say Biden supporters have also questioned the authenticity of the emails, yada, yada, and the censorship. So we know what's going on. I feel like we're in very serious trouble, and I'm not confident that Trump and the Republicans are going to do anything about it. And I mean it. The Republicans had an opportunity in 2016. I know there are a bunch of rhinos blocking Trump. They have an opportunity if they win, but there's so much they have to do to shut down the lies, the manipulation, and big tech's manipulation. The game may already be lost. That's the sad reality. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, okay? Just hear me out. If Trump loses, he will lose because Biden is allowed to lie and his own advisors can't put out statements from the World Health Organization. They are cheating, hands down. And I'm likely going to get banned soon anyway. Like I said, my channels are blacklisted on Google. They're not on Google. If Trump loses, this is the last chance to prevent the authoritarian takeover of the big tech oligopoly. I don't know how else to put it, but when you see Biden getting protected in every possible way and lying about this stuff, what do you think's going to happen? But maybe the people of this country are going to stand up, and maybe it's too late for them. That could be the advantage. That maybe the mainstream media lost its power already. I guess we'll see. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.